Hello, everybody. Hope you're doing well. Oh, whoops. How did that get up there? Hello, everybody. I hope you are doing well. Today, we are going to talk about the two biggest reservoirs on the Colorado River, those being Lake Powell and Lake Mead down below it. So, starting at Lake Powell, looking at the water level, we can see we are much lower than either of the previous 2 years, but we are up quite a bit from the low this year, which dips down underneath 525 feet above sea level. And why do I point this out? Well, the Department of Reclamation has this as the target elevation for the lake to, quote, minimize the risk of the reservoir declining below 3,490 feet of elevation. Now that number is the minimum power pool for Lake Powell, which means that if the lake ever were to drop below this level, that the turbines wouldn't be able to spin anymore and electricity generation at Glen Canyon Dam would stop. So we had dropped below the target elevation. We were getting into dangerous territory here. Let's see, we actually dropped below the target elevation for the first time on March 15th. It dropped and the decision was made to boost this water level. And now this was done in a couple of ways. If I just scroll through this article really quickly. So, the deal has two parts. The first one is to move 500,000 acre-feet of water, which is 162 billion gallons, from Flaming Gorge Reservoir into Lake Powell. We talked about this last time, and we could see the actual release of this water, and it dropped levels there by about 4 or 5 feet, which is significant. Fortunately, we don't use that reservoir for much other than recreation and water storage, so they were able to do that. That lake is low, though. They can't do it forever. However, the second part of this deal is that they have agreed to leave almost another 500,000 acre-feet of water in Lake Powell that was supposed to go to Mead. So, go back here, we see this big raise in the water levels from May through to July. But that has a cost, and that cost is paid first by Flaming Gorge, which I can go back to right here, which already paid the price back on May 25th, dropped. And the second one who paid the price was Lake Mead, who didn't get water that they needed, so they lost even more level at this lake than they would have otherwise. So the old minimum power pool for Lake Mead was actually 1,050 feet above sea level, which we dropped below on May 20th of this year. It's the first time that's ever happened since the lake was filled, and every single day has been a record low at Lake Mead. There's some really great resources on YouTube, some people doing some really great on-the-ground journalism of what's happening there, but it's pretty scary. So at this point, only 5 of the 17 turbines at the Hoover Dam were designed to continue operating below this level. Now, I don't know whether they turned those other turbines off, but what I do know is that if they continue to run them, that they'll likely face some permanent damage from something called cavitation, And real quickly, I just want to show you a great clip from a YouTube channel called Vegas D-Tech. Here you can see a turbine in good condition, and then if it is allowed to run for 2 years with high amounts of cavitation, here's that same turbine after 24 months. Just completely chewed up. So I imagine that if they ever expect to turn those turbines on again, if they ever think they'll get above this level again, that they turn those turbines off and they're only running the last 5 that are designed to keep running all the way down to 950 feet of elevation. So either way, the power generation at the Hoover Dam is way, way lower than it was ever built for. And every single day it continues to drop. Fortunately, it's not dropping as much as it had been, but we can see that even from yesterday we've had a drop. So that's significant. So those are the last 2 big lakes on the system. Then down below, we've got Lake Mohave, which is a small lake. They're able to keep this at essentially whatever level they need to. And we can see that pretty much every year from September through mid-October, there's a big release from this lake. I don't know why that is exactly, but if I had to guess, I would say it's probably for some kind of agriculture. Lake Havasu is downstream of Lake Mohave, and it's even smaller, I believe, and it's even more variable. So they pretty much just use this water for whatever they need to, it looks like, and the water level can bounce around quite a bit from day to day. If they get excess water, probably from upstream irrigation, versus if they need to release water for downstream irrigation. And then the last one I want to talk about is this little tiny Senor Wash reservoir. And the only reason I find this one interesting is just if we go and look here on the map, here's Senor Wash, and then down here is the dam that controls it, which is called Imperial Dam. And there's even this Imperial Reservoir here, if I can get it to update, but no, it doesn't want to call it Imperial Reservoir. Anyways, now we'll zoom out to see why I care, and it is right on the border of the US and Mexico. So this is kind of the last chance for the United States to stop any Colorado River water that they want to keep from even entering Mexico in the first place. Just something that I find interesting. So that's it for the Colorado River system. Hopefully you enjoyed the information, found it interesting and useful. I've got sources in the description for everything I've been showing you. Next up, I was thinking I'd just do kind of a roundup of some of the important, bigger reservoirs and bodies of water in the Southwest that aren't necessarily directly related to the Colorado River system. So if that sounds like that's something interesting to you, stick around and check that one out. Thanks. Bye-bye.